This is Dr. Davis, and I am from Selling in the Skin That You're In, How to Leverage Your Human Capabilities in a World of AI. And I was sitting here thinking, reminiscing about when I was little, and I used to get the Sears catalog. They called it the Wish Book. And so every year around October, November, this thing would come in, and I'd spend hours in this catalog dreaming and circling the things that I wanted, etc. And I'd give it to my parents, and they'd call up and order it from Sears, and maybe go pick it up at the store, have it delivered to the house. I don't know. I was thinking about our trips to Sears, especially around back to school time. And my dad would go get our car fixed because they had an auto place where he would get batteries and tires. He'd find the latest craftsman tool. My mother might go into the appliance section because Kenmore was there and see if she needed to upgrade some of our appliances or get a new vacuum cleaner. I was headed off to the toy section. I mean, Sears was the precursor to Walmart. There was no Walmart. There was no internet. So you ask yourself, where is Sears now? I mean, they got in some serious trouble, right? They're out of sight. They're not the major player they once were. Why? Because they would not adapt to online retailing. They thought it was going to be a fad. When they did decide to get involved, it was too late, right? So the competitive advantage they had around this database of names, address, phone numbers had gone away, right? Now you have Amazon, Walmart. Almost all the retailers were already online. And so Sears really struggled. So what happened? I call it business fear, right? Because when you're afraid, you either freeze, hang on to what you got, or you flee, right? So, and then the last one is confront. Oh, this thing's not going to work, that kind of thing. I contrast this with Kodak. Kodak had digital cameras, right? They had it before anybody else. But this digital camera would totally upset their business model. They made a lot of money on film and cameras and printing. If you had digital cameras, there goes our film business, right? So rather than embracing that and figuring out new business models where they could still make even more money using digital cameras, they ignored it. They distanced themselves from it and put it on the shelf. So what's going to happen to us? What's going to happen to you? What's going to happen to your company? Are you just going to cling to your old business models and then see how this is going to pan out and then try to be a late adopter? And by that time, you've either lost your competitive advantage or your efforts look amateurish because everything requires a growth curve. And while everybody is up here on the growth curve, you're down here. Or are you going to be like Kodak and just maybe you have some AI specialists and have some AI technology, but you're kind of like, individuals can do it on their own, but we're not going to adopt a comprehensive strategy to use AI. We're just kind of muddle our way through it. How do you think that's going to work out for you? I mean, maybe you think it'll work, but I ask you to think about those two examples I gave you. I could come up with many more, but I would challenge you to look at AI and see how it can cause you to dream bigger dreams, set bigger goals for yourself, right? So you have a certain set of goals based on your old business model. How can those goals get larger, be more profitable if I think about AI? How can I create a better team or a better output for my team if we use AI? And it's more than just simply taking over tasks we don't want to do. That's kind of like a Band-Aid approach to it. This involves integration, right? And how do we integrate AI so that it enhances, empowers members of my team? How do we integrate AI so it becomes a part of our everyday workflow process? Now, many of you may say, oh, geez, another This sounds too esoteric, too way out there. Well, I want you to think about it. How many of your sales reps use GPS on their phone? You know that's AI, right? How many of you use Google search? That's AI powered, right? So you're already using AI. I bet some of the members of your team are like earnestly using ChatGPT, right? But we're not giving them the tools, the training, the coaching to use AI in such a way that it betters their output. They're using it to replace their output. And that's filled with all kinds of errors and disruptions, right? So I'm going to challenge you to think about how not to run from this new technology, but how can I use it to accomplish bigger goals, to create a better, bigger, more profitable contribution to my organization. And if you need some help with that, reach out to me. Reach out to me at my personal LinkedIn page or my Next Aurora business page. I would love to help you embrace technology to make your company and your team better.